Whew, early morning. Clean my hands up here. I was painting before I started, so I just want to be sure I don't accidentally transfer any paint. Good morning, everybody. Welcome to Sunday Finishing Work. Just got to melt off the tips of these real quick. Just got a couple, and then I'll get started. I got some steaks. We're going to handle wrap some steaks first. I got a custom order I got to handle wrap for a custom baton. Morning, everybody. Hey, morning, Jay. How you doing? Oh, my good gracious. I got these are my conical tip poplar steaks. I wrapped the handles. I sold out of these recently. I kept meaning to make more and forgot. So getting that remedied this week. Oh, glasses gotta come off this morning. Can't focus my eyes with my glasses up close anymore. One of these days I will go to the eye doctor and get new glasses and maybe get this figured out. But today is not that day. 12 degrees, -5 wind chill. Oh shit, Jay. Make sure the cocoa lasts this weekend. Yeah, ration that cocoa, man. Stay warm. I always feel bad. I'm in Florida where it's a brisk, I think 70 degrees this morning. But I think we're supposed to be getting a cold front later today, so we'll see. They said it was going to hit this weekend. I figured it was going to hit Saturday, but it did not. So unlike most states down here in Florida, I kind of welcome cold fronts because it is so warm here most of the time. We very rarely get to experience any kind of winter weather. Hey, what's up, Lord Alcatraz? Welcome back, man. Just cord wrapping up some vampire steaks this morning. Then I got a few others I gotta do. Those are sitting in their second coat of tongue oil right now. Once I finish these steaks, I'll wipe all that down and bring it over here. Should be good to go. But first, I got 6 of these things to do. Oh, migraines, yeah. Yeah, my significant other's good friend has migraines, and seems pretty rough, man. I've never had them myself, but man, they seem miserable. I'm glad you're not having one now. Hey, what's up, Dylan? I am handle wrapping some vampire hunter steaks. These are, I make all kinds of vampire hunter steaks in my shop. These are some of the lower end ones that I sell. I call these my gateway steaks because these are fairly cheap. Most of the time they're $20 or less for these poplar steaks. And I sell a lot of these around Halloween. And I sold out of a bunch of mine. The last that I had left over from Halloween sold out this last month, so got to get them back in stock. My shop's big selling season is Halloween, so I seem to spend most of the year between January and October, actually January and September, beefing up my vampire steak inventory. Because every year it seems like I never know what kind of vampire steak people are going to start going for. This year, it seems like it was these conical tip ones with the handle wraps. There you go. How many vampires have I slayed? An unimaginable amount. No, zero. 0 vampires have I slayed. But if the opportunity ever arises, I'm definitely prepared for it. I have so many vampire steaks at home and in my inventory room in my shop. Believe it or not, Dylan, we talk about that a lot on my channel. Because one thing I go over a lot while I'm doing this. Oh, thanks, George. Oh, appreciate that, man. Yeah, I try to make cool stuff. That's pretty much all this shop is me making all the cool stuff I wish I had when I was younger that I wasn't allowed to have or make. Who's that, Dylan? So Dylan, there are actually rules to staking vampires that a lot of people ignore. One that I think gets ignored way too often because it's in a lot of the older Romanian vampire lore is that you should never stake a vampire with an evergreen wood. Just in case, Jay, good to know. Always good to be prepared for the possible vampire apocalypse. But anyway, as I was saying, you can't stake a vampire with evergreen wood because back in the day, evergreen wood was considered symbolic of immortality. And since vampires are technically immortal beings, the concept was that the evergreen wouldn't kill them. And in some of the lore, it says it will make them stronger. The other rule is that once you stake a vampire, you never take the stake out. In a lot of vampire movies, they just show them stab them with the stake and pull it out and keep reusing it. In most of the original vampire lore, that is not the case. You put the stake in, you leave the stake in. Because a lot of the lore seems to support the idea that the stake isn't actually what kills the vampire. The stake more or less like paralyzes the vampire. After that, you got to chop off its head and set the remains on fire in order to make sure that the vampire does not resurrect, because the old lore states that if a vampire's body falls under the light of a full moon, it will regenerate and come back to life. So, back in the day in Wallachia and parts of Northern Europe and Eastern Europe, they would sell these special coffins that had like a blade at neck level and it had a stake at chest level. So when you close the coffin, it would behead and stake the corpse to make sure that your loved one did not come back as a cursed member of the undead. But it always bothers me though, because like I feel like especially in movies, a lot of the lore with the vampires has kind of become standardized. And I think it would be really interesting to see someone do like a vampire movie and really look at like the old lore and use the old lore, because some of the old lore is cool. Some of it's a little bit ridiculous. Like, for example, there's a part of fairy lore that kind of made its way into vampire lore, where if you drop like a handful of rice or sugar or anything that's like granular, if you drop that on the ground, they compulsively have to stop what they're doing and count each individual grain, which then gives you time to escape. That was actually a fairy lore thing, but it ended up in the vampire mythos for some reason. I think that would be hilarious, though, if you have this vampire hunter who's got a vampire coming at him, he throws rice on the ground, and the vampire's just like, fuck, and stops and starts counting each individual grain of rice. That would be awesome. Oh, Beanod, you're in the wrong place, my guy. Yeah, Dylan, I love Lost Boys. Lost Boys is a good one. And the reason I like Lost Boys is because Lost Boys does go back to a lot of the old school lore. You know, like, especially like you have to invite a vampire into your home in order for them to enter. I tend to believe that that part of vampire lore most likely came from the plague period. But during the plague in Europe, a lot of people got buried alive because they didn't really have advanced instruments to make sure your heart was beating or not. And I think a lot of people got buried alive in shallow graves at times when there were a lot of deaths. So, you would wake up not dead and try to go home. Home would probably kick you out because they think, oh God, he's a vampire. So you might go to a neighbor's house and be like, hey, can I come in, please? And they're like, no. And you're like, okay, well, shit. And you walk off. And for some reason, I think that's what became of the whole you have to invite them in part of the lore. But yeah, so Dylan, one of the other reasons that I know a lot about vampires is I actually have a master's degree in mythology, English with a focus in mythology. And I write books for Penguin Random House on mythological subjects, one of which being supernatural creatures and demons. So I do know quite a bit about vampires, probably more than a middle-aged man should. This brain is full of a lot of useless information. No, Lord Alcatraz, these are friction fit, so I don't put any sort of sealant on them. They hold just fine. But no, I don't put any type of sealant. I try to avoid using sealants or adhesives on my handle wraps unless it's necessary to make sure everything stays tight. The reason for that is sometimes people want to modify stuff, like they may not like this handle wrap, so they want to replace it with a different handle wrap. And I'm cool with that. But it's going to be hard to do that if I put a sealant on it. Plus, on these particular steaks, like I said, these are my gateway steaks. These are the least expensive kinds of steaks that I sell in my shop, are these poplar ones, because they take me very little time to make. And I only sand them just once, and then I stain them and handle wrap them. So I'm able to sell them for less than $20. All of these types of steaks I sell for about $20 or less. And it makes them a pretty cost-effective option as opposed to some of my higher-end steaks. But a lot of times people who buy these steaks in my shop, they'll get one of these. They really like them. So they come back and look at the more expensive steaks that I make. And they purchase one of those. So this is the gateway steak for that reason, because a lot of times people buy one of these and they come back for something nicer. Where did who go, Benky? Have I ever played Blood Omen 1 or 2? No, I haven't. Is that a good one? These days, I really only play one video game. I very rarely have time for more than that. I am an avid Helldivers 2 player. I am also somehow I'm still the head of 3rd Rescue Division. It's a faction of players on Helldivers 2. We answer SOS beacons for our fellow Helldivers. But no, I've never played Blood Omen. I'm thinking about maybe trying out Arc Raiders in the future. That one seems kind of interesting, and the community seems pretty chill. I'm a little weary of co-op games, as I want to know what the community is like, you know, because some co-op games have awesome communities where people work together, you know, like Helldivers 2. You know, you have a lot of, you know, even when you play with randos, most of the time it seems pretty chill. So I kind of like games like that. Arc Raiders seems to have a pretty chill community. They have some trolls, but that's every co-op game has trolls. Even Helldivers 2 has them, but they don't stick around very often because it's just not fun for them. Two is the best. Oh, you get to play a vampire in that one? That sounds cool. So you can use telekinesis to drink blood. Did who leave today there, Binky? I don't know who we're talking about there, Binky. Who is she? That's funny, Tyler. At what age did I figure out that I'm gay? Oh, that's hilarious. Well, I'm not, but I'm definitely an ally, so Arc Raiders is cringe. There, Alcatraz. Yeah, ganking people to get loot. Yeah, that's what I've heard. Hey, my pleasure, Tyler. I am an ally. I have many friends and family who are LGBTQA plus whatever. I am 100% a ally. But yeah, that's what I've heard. Alcatraz, what I actually had heard recently is that the studio for Arc Raiders, they realized that was becoming a problem, people camping extraction sites and basically killing people to steal their loot. And so what they've done is players that do that a certain number of times, they get moved to a different server group when they jump on. And so basically all of the loot thieves and trolls are all playing against each other now on Arc Raiders, and apparently they're not super happy about it. Oh, thanks, Tyler. Appreciate that. I don't know that this counts as an LGBTQ plus account, but definitely a safe space. I see, like on Helldivers 2, when that first came out, we had some trolls who came over from stuff like COD and who were all about team killing and causing chaos. And so the Helldivers 2 community started putting bounties on players that did stuff like that. And so when they would come on, if they managed to get into a game, the team would kill them on sight because they were on the bounty list. And then they'd get blocked until eventually all those players didn't have anybody to play with, which is really hard to solo Helldivers 2 after a certain point. Or they couldn't play because every time they joined a fire team, they got ended immediately by the fire team because they were on a list. Binky, my man, I have no idea what we are talking about. I don't know who called. Who are we talking about, Binky? I'm so lost right now. Who is she? Becky, I swear to God, if you don't tell me who she is by the end of this stream, that's going to be in my brain for like weeks, man. You're going to make me lose sleep. I don't know who she is, Binky. Oh, goodness gracious. Sorry, I know this isn't super exciting watching me hand wrap these steaks, but appreciate you guys hanging out with me this morning. Definitely helps this be a little less monotonous. We just got 2 more after this one. Time drinks its own shadow while ideas put on shoes made of yesterday, insisting that meaning only happens when no one is looking. I like that. Thanks, Kupinder. Shan Wu, huh? Nice. Thanks for sharing that. That was deep. What's everybody doing this morning? Why are you guys up this early? I don't know. I guess my US people are up early anyway. Or you're up way too late. Way too late. Thanks, Kupinder. Marianne called earlier, Benke. I don't know who Marianne is. I feel like you might be in the wrong spot. She was supposed to call? Who was she supposed to call? Me? I don't know what we're talking about. Ugh, stupid watch. Well, good luck, Tyler. You didn't pay your water bill, so you got to shit in the yard. Well, I apologize. That sounds horrible. But you know what? Go buy like one of those e-tools, like a collapsible shovel, and you can dig a little hole with that, and then put it in the ground. You can actually use the triangular handle as like a toilet to sit on, if you want to. Yeah, that worked really well for me when I was in the Marine Corps. So, yeah, if you got to poop in the yard, bring a shovel. It's crazy. I think a lot of people are locked inside their homes right now here in the U.S. because it is cold in so much of the country right now. And by cold, I mean like negative, like below 0 cold. As far as Fahrenheit is concerned, below 0 cold in Celsius isn't quite as cold, but that's just below freezing. Mary from Jim's place. Yeah, man. Benke, I think you might have me confused with somebody else, my guy. You're welcome, Tyler. Good luck to you. I can use your yard, or Tyler can use your yard. You can't Bender. That's great. Yeah, well, yeah. Cats. That's just kind of their thing. There, Jay. If cats are cold, humans are the closest heaters. So that tracks. Benke, you are confusing the hell out of me, my guy. I have no idea who Mary from Jim's place is. You don't mean Mary from Boca Grande, do you? That's the only Mary I know. But I don't think her full name's Marion, so that's just like I painted her table last week, I think. She had a teak wood exterior table that was like a transformer. I had to like turn it over and undo all the parts so that I could paint it. It was crazy. Felt like trying to paint a transformer while it was transforming. Oh, thanks, Kupinder. Appreciate the subscription. And Tyler, thanks so much. I don't know about cool. I don't do anything that exciting. This is, mostly to kind of promote the shop and give me something a little less monotonous of a time while I'm doing all this sanding and staining and oiling and prep work. I really appreciate you guys coming on the lives, though. It helps me not be bored on Sunday mornings. But thanks for the subs. I don't know if you guys saw also, but like Sinners, which is like my favorite vampire movie in a really long time. Like probably the best vampire movie to come out since I would say almost Lost Boys. Maybe Dracula. Dracula was okay. The original Dracula with or the one with Gary Oldman anyway. Not the original. Bram Stoker's Dracula was pretty good. But since Lost Boys, I don't feel like there's been a good like vampire movie, and I really love Sinners, and it got nominated for like 16 awards, Academy Awards, which is like a record. But what I think bothers me the most about it though is that Michael B. Jordan is like he's nominated for Best Actor, but he's not like they're giving him like 3% odds that he's actually going to win it. And it's been nominated for Best Picture, and once again, it's got like 5% I think odds of winning Best Picture, which I think is some bullshit. Because Michael B. Jordan was amazing in Sinners, dude. You know how hard it is to play twins convincingly? If anyone's ever seen Double Impact with Jean-Claude Van Damme, you know that shit's not easy. Because Van Damme did not do it well. I have no idea about the sports team in your particular geographic area there, Buona Beast. Yummers, yeah, this is a wooden steak, vampire steak. We're working on some vampire steaks this morning. Vampire Hunter steaks. But yeah, like if you guys haven't seen Sinners, I highly recommend it. It's crazy because it's technically a vampire movie, but the vampires don't show up for like the first hour. Normally, that would bug the shit out of me. I hate when movies take forever to get to like the main point. But in Sinners, they do such a good job of developing the characters and the backstory of what's going on with everyone before the vampires show up, that you are so engrossed in that story that by the time the vampires show up, you're almost kind of disappointed because it interrupts everything that's going on and kind of ruins the plans and the happiness of all these people. And it's such a good movie, so well done. But Michael B. Jordan, in the first like opening scene that you see him, he is playing both twins on screen at the same time, and one twin lights the cigarette of the other twin, and it is like a seamless effect. It is amazing to me. It's so well done. You know, I highly recommend if you have not seen what is that, Benki? At last what? But if you have not seen Sinners, I highly recommend it. Absolutely a damn near perfect film. You don't see that very often these days, where you see an almost perfect film. And Sinners is 100% that. And what I like, again, they stuck to mostly the old lore, you know, the being invited inside, wooden stakes, that kind of stuff. The only part that they messed up was that in that movie, when they're staking vampires, they'll stake and pull the stake out, and the vampire dies, they go on to the next one, stake, pull the stake out. That's the only part that I didn't like. But, I mean, let's be honest, that kind of vampire lore very rarely makes it into pop culture and movies. Because it does present a lot of problems in the sense that you have to have one stake per vampire. There is one movie, believe it or not, that there are no vampires. Well, yeah, I'm aware of that, Bio. Like, did you think I thought there were vampires? Hey, what's up, Smoke? But Buffy the Vampire Slayer, they actually stick to that in Buffy the Vampire Slayer. When she stakes a vampire, the stake stays in. And what I love is the end of that movie, the vampires attack like their prom or their dance, and Buffy pops this huge duffel bag down on a table, and the duffel bag's just full of different vampire stakes. And because she needs one per vampire, which is a lot of vampire stakes. And the stakes keep getting more and more improvised as time goes on. But Pee Wee Herman or Paul Rubens plays one of the main vampires in the movie. By the time she goes to stake him, if you watch that scene, she's actually got a 12-inch ruler, like a classroom school ruler, that she has sharpened the tip of, and that's what she stakes him with, which I find hilarious. Like, she just took anything that was made of wood in her home and sharpened it for that final showdown. Psychic vampires for sure. Yeah, I mean, those exist. What am I smoking, Anthony? Mostly Marlboro Lights. Yeah, I think they're called Gold Pack now, though. I'm kind of old. They were called Lights when I was growing up. What was the movie? Well, I was talking about Sinners earlier, but right now I'm talking about Buffy the Vampire Slayer, the original Christy Swanson movie, not the TV series. The original movie with Christy Swanson and Luke Perry. I think it came out in the 90s. So good. Do not go in expecting it to be serious. It is absolutely a horror comedy, but it is a good one. I feel. I love it. It's campy as shit, and I absolutely love that movie. But yeah, stuff like that with the vampire stakes, and it's got Donald Sutherland, you guys. Come on. Donald Sutherland. Donald Sutherland blows my mind because, like, he's one of the weirdest actors because the dude flip-flops from doing, like, Oscar-worthy roles to turning around and doing stuff like Buffy the Vampire Slayer. Van Helsing's okay. My one complaint about Van Helsing, Vic, I'm not a big fan of CGI. And man, I felt like for that movie, they went a little too far with the CGI at a time when the CGI just wasn't ready for it. I don't think it's a bad movie necessarily. It's Hugh Jackman. He's not a bad actor. I just think that they went a little too heavy on the CGI for that movie. But no, it's not bad, but I don't consider it a great vampire movie though. But it's definitely a fun popcorn flick, Van Helsing. I'm personally a big fan of bad movies. So even if I call a movie bad, please be aware that, like, that's not me insulting the movie. There are so many bad movies that I absolutely adore. Many of them vampire films. Like the old Hammer House of Horror vampire films. Holy shit, you guys. Those were so campy and ridiculous. And you get to see people like Christopher Lee. And, when he was younger. He still looks old, though. It's the weirdest thing. I feel like Christopher Lee has looked like a grandfather my entire life. But Christopher Lee's in a lot of those movies. He playing both vampires and vampire hunters. You get, like, Vincent Price, obviously. Like, you've got a lot of the old school. And there's another Star Wars actor that's in that's in the Hammer House of Horror films. And I can never remember his name. Little Red Riding Hood. What is Little Red Riding Hood? You're a B movie fan, Vic? Yeah, me too. Huge fan. Matter of fact, that's what I do on Sundays after I get done here. I go home, I do laundry, and I watch a bad movie, and I post clips of it on my Instagram. Oh, dude, Vic, Christopher Lee. Holy shit, you guys. Christopher Lee was absolutely a real-life badass. Christopher Lee had, like, so many confirmed kills in the war. Dude was an intelligence agent. He was scary, that guy. But he could act. I always think it's interesting, though, how many of those, like, badasses from, like, the World War I, World War II time period came home and became completely different things. Like, like Captain Kangaroo, former Marine. You've got a lot of people like that. I think that it's amazing how Mr. Rogers, you have a lot of people who came back from a war and chose to be something different. Peter Cushing. Thank you, Jay. That's the other one. Yeah, Peter Cushing's in a lot of the Hammer House of Horror films. But Christopher Lee, yeah, he came back. I think I read a story once that on Lord of the Rings, there's a scene where someone gets stabbed. And they made a sound, and Christopher Lee's like, that's not the sound someone makes when they get stabbed. And then he's proceeded to, like, imitate the sound of what someone actually sounds like when they get stabbed. And like, holy shit, that's a little scary. Like, no, I've stabbed tons of people. That's not at all what they sound like. Hey, happy Sunday, Daniel. Hey, Anna, welcome. We are wrapping up the last of these vampire steaks, and then I gotta go wipe down the tung oil on these projects behind me. Then we got a couple other projects I got to get finished up this morning. Lee Gordon. I'm trying to remember who's Lee Gordon. That name sounds familiar. I'm so old. My recall is not what it used to be. Lee Gordon. Or Leo Gordon. But those old Hammer House of Horror vampire movies, if you guys haven't seen them, they're hilariously bad. But also they can be scary at times. But those are actually all available on Tubi right now. I'm not being paid by Tubi or anything. I do love Tubi though, man, because if you're a bad movie connoisseur like myself, Tubi is amazing. It's Tubi. Oh my gosh, that Tubi has all the bad movies on it. It is a rabbit hole that I will never climb out of, I don't think. Unless Tubi goes out of business. I have like hundreds of movies on my watch list from Tubi that I need to get through. And just when I think I've like started to whittle down my list a little bit, like I'll watch 1 or 2 or 3 of the bad movies on my list and get them off of there, and then I'll find like 10 new ones that I want to add. Oh, Night of the Grizzly. Yeah, okay. That's who he was. Yeah, okay. Yeah, I got you. I haven't seen Night of the Grizzly in a while. All right, I don't think I've ever screened that one on my Instagram channel. I've seen it. It's just been, good God, forever. Last one. All right, get that one cut. And there we go. I've got a whole bunch of vampire steaks that I can't seem to get held. There we go. Let me stick these over in the finished area. Oh, my back. I'm old. Why am I so old? I didn't used to be this old. I don't know when it happened, you guys. All right, clean my hands so make sure I don't have stain on them when I grab the other stuff. I'm gonna have to get some more natural jute. I'm running out. Hang on, let me wash my hands here real quick. Well, wipe them off anyway. These alcohol wipes, I tell you, man, I burned through these. I bought like an 8-pack of these back in September, and I've only got one left after this. I gotta order more. But man, they come in handy. All right, let's go wipe down these other projects real quick. Need my glasses. There we go. I know what you're thinking. Is that a sock? And the answer is yes, it is. All right, let's see here. So this here is a new bokken that I've made. It's a Western style bokken made of Kummeru wood. I discovered Kummeru wood a few months back. An acquaintance had a bunch left over from a job site and it was going to go in the trash. He asked if I wanted it and he sent it to me along with a few pieces of Palfero. This stuff is amazing. I'm going to be so sad when I run out of it because it has a Jenka hardness of 3,200 to 3,700 pound force. This is a Western style bokken. You see these in some Japanese kenjutsu dojos, or ryuha, I should say. They had a period mostly in the 18th and 19th century where they wanted to make sure they were able to practice against European sword styles. And so they had these in the dojo. You don't see them very much anymore, but I like to make them. I think they're fun. I'd only ever seen one in the past, and luckily I studied it very closely whenever I did. But it's 39 inches with a 10-inch handle, so you have a 29-inch blade. It's got a double-edged tip. But this thing would also work as a waster for HEMA or Buhurt or Armored Combat or SCA. It is. This thing will never break. And this This is the next thing we're going to be handle wrapping. I had a customer get a hold of me a couple weeks ago. They wanted a custom baton out of American hickory. So that's what they got. So this is their custom baton, and I use pressure treated American hickory for these. The blanks that I use are the same blanks that they use to make hammer handles and sledgehammer handles and axe handles, stuff like that. A peacemaker? Yes, I would call it. You could, I mean, if you hit somebody with it, I think they're definitely going to want peace. So they're not going to want to keep fighting. I mean, really, any stick is a peacemaker if you use it well enough. And this is a Hapkido Donbong Yawara hybrid that I've made in the past. I had a cutoff from the blank for the hickory that I used to make that baton, so I figured I'd make that into a Donbong. The Donbong is mostly, you see it in like Hapkido, but it's more or less the Korean version of the Japanese Yawara, or tenbon or donbon in Japanese, or tonbon in Japanese. But this is called the donbong in Korean. And so you're going to put an anchor cord through these holes here. And then you'll tie a knot on each end at the back. And I leave these long so that when the clients get them, they can untie them and adjust them to their hand and cut them. Hey, what's up, Kenneth? Business is it's a little slow, to be honest with you, but I'm doing all right. I'm getting quite a few custom orders lately, so that's helping out. But my general inventory doesn't seem to be selling much. But it's January. January and February tend to be my slowest sale months of the year. But anyway, yeah. So you've got this. You've got basically a small stick that you can use for striking. You've got a tapered butt at the back that you can use as a back fist kind of thing. You can do wrist locks with these. You can do disarms. The Korean police train with these, as well as with these weird, like, sword length batons. I tell you, do not ever mess with the South Korean police, okay? If you ever go to South Korea, be polite. Don't be a jerk. And don't ever take a swing at a South Korean police officer. I saw a guy do that once when I was in South Korea for a little while in the military. It didn't go well for him, man. It didn't go well for him at all. It was a drunk sailor guy. I was in the Marines. We were out and about in Pohang, Korea, and there are cops. You know, they patrol the street just like everybody else, and they wear these like sword length batons on their backs. They look like ninja walking around. It's amazing. And so this drunk sailor's kind of being unruly. He keeps accosting people that are walking past him. So the cops walk up to have a talk. And this genius decides to take a swing at one of the cops. That cop dodged that punch. The other cop immediately steps around behind the guy, pulls the sword baton thingy out from behind his back, and swings it and nails the guy behind the knees. He goes on his back. The other cop draws his out and brings it straight down on the dude's chest. They roll him over and cuff him up, and that was all she wrote. It was amazing, you guys. But yeah, this was in South Korea in like 1997, I think. It was a long time ago. I'm old, you guys. But yeah, it was hilarious though, because and what's crazier still is that they had warned us about that if you are aggressive towards a South Korean cop, that they will F you up. as they are trained. They don't carry guns. So if you're a cop that doesn't carry guns, you can only imagine how well they train those guys in hand-to-hand fighting. All right. Actually, wait, I gotta do the handle wrap on this before I do the wrist loop. It's still a little tacky, so I'm gonna go ahead and glove up so that I don't put fingerprints in it. I don't think it's tacky enough that I will, but I just don't want to take a chance. Yeah, to be honest, that should just be a rule in general. If you go to a foreign country, don't be in it. Don't act like a jackass. We got too many people doing that these days. I feel like every day I read some news story about some IRL streamer or YouTuber or something that goes over to Japan or the Philippines or Vietnam or Korea and acts like an absolute moron. And then they're surprised when they get arrested and have to pay consequences because they went to another country and decided to act like idiots and decided to break the law. They don't like that over there. Do not go to other countries and cause problems, you guys. Oh, I'm gonna need black paracord for this. This particular one is for Specialized Fisher. He's usually on here on Sundays. I don't see him this morning. He might be working. I don't know. I have got to get a better chair, I swear. This little stool. When I first set up this shop, I didn't have a chair in here, so I just dragged in a camping stool that I had, a collapsible camping stool. And every week I tell myself I'm going to get a new chair, and every week I forget. All right. I'm trying to decide. I don't think I'm going to need adhesive for this, which is one of the reasons that I'm handle wrapping it while the tung oil is still a little tacky, because it gives it some grip. There we go. Take the stupid glasses off. I'm always having to peer over them like an old man. I have bifocals, but they don't seem to be working anymore. Focusing up close is a little difficult with my glasses on. And yes, I know I should probably go to the eye doctor. And I don't have time. I'm working 3 jobs right now. Oh, it's snowing again, Jay. Yeah, it's paracord. Yeah. Yeah, he asked for black paracord for the handle wrap and for the wrist loop, so that's what he's getting. He wants the paracord because it kind of gives a ridged surface to grip onto. A few more rounds, I think we'll have it. Yeah, there we go. All right. And then take these gloves off. I'll leave that one on. All right. You don't want to touch your melting 550 cord with nitrile gloves on. Learn that one the hard way. There we go. It's got a nice little handle wrap. The knot offers a little hand stop at the end of the grip. But yeah, he wanted 22 inches with a 5-inch handle. That is what he got. Now we'll put the wrist loop. Good God, Nathan, wake up. The wrist loop through the hole here. And again, I make this long so that the client, when they get it, they can cut that however they want it. No, this is a different wood, Alcatraz. This is American hickory. The stakes were poplar. This is American hickory, pressure treated American hickory. But yeah, Max Daddy, this is 550 cord, paracord, whatever you want to call it. I find that it tends to depend on whether someone was in the military. I know most military guys, we call it 550 cord. But civilians seem to call it paracord, so I go with both sometimes. 12 to 24 inches of snow in Boston, Kenneth? That's nuts. Is it a rigid grip? I mean, it's a ridged grip, yes. The wood's not ridged, but because you have the paracord, it gives you kind of that ridged grip feeling. So yeah, so that's going to go sit. That's going to ship off to the client tomorrow. He bought this, and he bought one of my Atasi Cherokee war clubs, which, by the way, I have a bunch of war clubs available. Unfortunately, eBay will not let me sell them. I'm not sure why. Well, I do know now. I know now why. It's kind of ridiculous, but so there's a lot of people that sell Native American war clubs and Polynesian war clubs and stuff on eBay. But apparently you have to be able to show provenance in order to sell them on eBay, which I didn't know about. And that means you have to be able to show that it was made by an actual Polynesian or an actual Native American, which I get. So anyway, so I apparently, because I am neither of those things, I cannot sell war club replicas on eBay. So I'm still trying to figure out how to sell these clubs because my website is down, which is a pain in the ass. So I'm going to have to create a new website because Shopify is absolutely fucking horrible. Strong wrist. Well, I hope he does. It's not for me. This is for a client. So he wanted 22 inches with a 5-inch handle. So I made it oval so that it's indexed, which gives you a better striking area. And it makes it easier to index it in your hand. A circular baton is not great. It's not horrible, but not great. But I mean, I have strong wrists, but I have no idea if the client has strong wrists. And then, well, I don't think I'm going to do this one this week. So this is probably going to be a project that's going to get done next week. This is a practice spear that I'm working on. I stained the shaft, and I want to give it a tung oil treatment. But because I stained it, I have to give it like at least 3 or 4 days before I can tung oil stain it. And then this is going to, if I can pull this out of the way without knocking anything over, this spear head here will go into the groove on this, and then it'll get tied in place. No adhesive, so you can, if the shaft breaks, you can take this spearhead's Kumru wood, so it's not gonna break. The shaft might. So if the shaft breaks, all I have to do is untie it, pull this out, get a new stick, get a new shaft, and carve in the little grooves there and stick it in. How does it not unwind at the end? So, Kenneth, I tie it in a knot. That's how it doesn't untie at the end. So the way I do those, I'll give you a quick tutorial. Hang on one second. One sec. I'll show you what I'm talking about. All right, so this is probably the easiest cord wrap in the world, but it works really well. It's very easy to replace, and it uses less cord than most of the other fancy cord wraps. So you leave an anchor cord at the bottom. You run that up to where the top of the wrap is going to be. You wrap it around, and then you're going to wrap it over that anchor cord. And then at that point, you just twist. You keep it tight on your way down until you get to the end. And then you cut this and you tie these two ends together, and that holds the whole thing together. You pull it tight so that it's got tension. And that way your wrap holds itself in place. And it doesn't need adhesive, really. Every now and then I use adhesive, mostly on staffs. If I make a staff and they want a center cord wrap, I use adhesive on those just because, you know, with longer weapons, your hand tends to move around more. But no, that wrap, I think I've had one time where one came loose. And I replaced it free of charge, because if something that I sell breaks on you or doesn't work the way it's supposed to work, I replace it. No problem. You don't have to return the old one. All of my Boken and HEMA and Boo Hurt wasters and SCA wasters, all that stuff in my shop is guaranteed. If you buy a training weapon or a practice sword from my shop and it breaks on you when it should not have broken on you, I replace it. And all you have to do is send me a picture and tell me how it broke so that I know whether it was an issue with like the wood grain or the design, so that I can make sure I fix whatever caused the break and make sure that doesn't happen again. And then you just let me know where you want the replacement sent, and I will send it. And if I can't replace it, I will find a way to refund you. Hey, you're welcome, Kenneth. My pleasure. All right, let me throw this stuff away. That was my last project for this week. What do you guys think? You want to see some war clubs before I head out? I got time. We've only been here an hour. Man, I thought it was going to take longer. Usually it takes me a couple hours. I got to show off some war clubs real quick, the ones that I can't sell on eBay. And if you're interested in anything you see on here or interested in a custom order, you can always contact me. You can go to my eBay shop and just choose a listing and send me a message, or you can email me at natrBrown37@gmail. That's natrBrown37, natrBrown37@gmail. Let me know what you need and I'll get you taken care of. No, those aren't my employees. That's those are my neighbors. This is my shop's in the same building as another shop. I actually work at the shop across the hallway as well. That was probably my boss, to be honest with you. So this is my shop on this side, and then on that hallway you see through the door there, on the other side of that hallway is another shop. We do custom home renovations in that shop. This is my shop though. There are no employees. It's just me. I don't make anybody work on Sundays. I don't make anybody work at all, to be honest with you, because I don't have any employees. Warrior Winter Props is literally just one guy with a belt sander and a dream, people. You just farted, Victor? Well, thanks for sharing, my guy. Thanks for that information. It's always good to know. It's better than don't hold it in. All right, if your body's trying to get rid of stuff, let it go. Let it go, my guy. Trust me. You don't hold it in and then have it do that thing where you like back up into your body, and then you wonder if that fart's just there forever. You don't want to do that. Don't do that. Really not good for you. What do you guys think? I'm gonna go grab some war clubs. She loves my boss. Marion loves my boss, Mickey. I'm starting to think Marion doesn't exist, Mickey. A Marine with a belt sander in a dream, right? Warrior wood and props. A Marine with a belt sander in a dream. I'll be right back. I'll show you guys the war clubs I got on hand here. I tell you, it really sucks so much because these war clubs are so nice. And I can't believe eBay took them down. They don't, as far as I know, they don't seem to violate any weapons policies, but eBay says they do, which is weird because there are tons of shops that sell this kind of stuff. But this is an Atasi Cherokee War Club. There are different designs of this. This one has a flared handle. I had another design that tapers out from the handle up. That one's already been sold to the guy that did the custom baton. So that's going with him. But I've got this hickory. This is American two-tone hickory, Atasi Cherokee War Club. These are my Polynesian ones. This one's Tongan. This is based on a Tongan design. This is Ipe wood, which is about as strong as Komaru. It's not quite as strong. I think the Jenka hardness on this is about 3,000 to 3,200 pound force for this, but crazy strong stuff. That is solid Ipe, one entire solid piece of Ipe. It's a rectangular style with a tapered tip. I'm guessing for like throat shots. I don't know why it tapers at the tip, but the design that I had from the museum piece that I saw had a tapered tip. This one is probably my most favorite. This is also Ipe wood. This is a Tongan design as well. It's actually pretty similar to an Atasi. The only difference is the Cherokee Atasi goes a straight line all the way down to the handle, whereas the Tongan one, the handle is grooved out separately from the tapered club piece. As you can see, it has a taper on both ends. A lot of war club designs, that's how they're tapered, when they have this kind of flatter profile. And what this does is it creates a smaller striking surface, which is what you want with something like a war club, because you want all that force that you're hitting with to be concentrated into a smaller piece. It also takes weight out of the sides, so without compromising the strength of the center. But this thing is a freaking beast, you guys. I know it probably doesn't look it on camera, but this is solid Ipe wood. I love this thing. I hate that I can't sell it on eBay because it's awesome, but if you're interested in it, hit me up. You can, like I said, go to eBay, send me a message through one of my listings. The link to my eBay shop's in my link tree. Or you can send me an email at natrBrown37@gmail.com. Slot machines and dice, that's not nice, my guy. But yeah, I make a lot of Native American and Polynesian weapon replicas. I'm actually working on a custom one right now. And this is another one that I really like. This is another Polynesian one. It's got tiger shark teeth embedded in the front. It's held on with a faux oh my god, sinew. Sorry, faux sinew, because apparently you can't buy real sinew anymore. And again, it also has that taper on the striking ends, as you can see. This is Hawaiian rosewood, which it doesn't have a hardness of like Ipe or hickory or Komaru, but Hawaiian rosewood is almost like stone. I don't know how else to explain it. It is hard as shit. And I've impact tested all of these, by the way. All these are impact tested. They're good to go. But yeah, this one has the shark teeth in it. But this was a bitch to do, by the way, getting these shark teeth embedded in this rosewood the way to make sure they wouldn't come out, because that was the concern for me. I wanted to make sure they stayed in place, and they will. And now, yeah, I love making war clubs. I'm so sad that I can't sell my war clubs on eBay, because apparently you can only sell Polynesian war clubs if they're made in a Polynesian region by a Polynesian person, and you can only sell Native American, like Cherokee war clubs if they came from a reservation and were made by Cherokee Indians, or Cherokee tribal people. So yeah, so I can't sell them on eBay, which I'm cool with. I understand why eBay allows that to happen, because those are antiques and my stuff is not antiques. I'm not sure I agree with it, but I understand it. ePay, yeah, it's IPE. Kenneth, ePay is expensive. Yes, it is not cheap. Luckily for me, like I said, I work in custom home renovations and painting, and so I get lucky every now and then and get to salvage wood that's going to be thrown away from a job site. We had a client, or my boss had a client who got rid of an entire fence that was made of ipe, an old fence. So I was able to salvage all of that ipe wood, which I have a ton now. And yeah, it's ipe is expensive. The only way I'm able to make my stuff out of ipe and not have it cost hundreds of dollars is because it's made of salvaged wood. It's still good wood. There's nothing wrong with it. As you can see, it's pretty. It has one little bleaching spot right there from where it was a fence before, but the bleaching doesn't affect the wood strength at all. It's hard as crap. Oh, Tyler, you like the Embrace the Existential Dread shirt? You got that at home? I love this shirt. Oh, your boyfriend gave you it? Yeah, I love my Embrace the Existential Dread shirt. It's a good time. Because that's all you can do, boys and girls, is embrace that existential dread. It's not going away. You will die someday. And as will I. Yeah, we don't get to exist forever. At least not in this form. Maybe one of these days. I think it's going to be interesting to find out who's right when I die. That's the main thing. Because as a mythologist, I'm familiar with a lot of different religious beliefs and afterlife beliefs and mythologies. My personal belief is I often think that the afterlife is whatever you think it's going to be. Which I hope turns out to be true, because I have some ideas. But yeah, the afterlife, I think it would be interesting if it's whatever. But it's gotta suck, because like, what if people like who die suddenly or unexpectedly don't know they're dead, right? Maybe that's why, like, in the afterlife, like maybe there's people in the afterlife who are literally still like getting up every day and going to work because they don't know they died, so they think that's what they're supposed to be doing. Oh, that would suck. I wonder how many like thousands of years you could do that before you realize you were stuck in a loop. Sorry, I didn't mean to get like weird on you. That was on me. I'm kind of hoping Valhalla's a thing or something similar, because that sounds like a good time. It's literally just fighting, drinking, hanging out with sexy ladies at a drinking hall, and eating. That's about it. Sounds awesome. Sounds like a great time. But I think it would be cool if it was more like a like what dreams may come situation, right? Where like the afterlife is basically whatever you decide it's going to be. I think that would be cool. Well, let's see. So that's all my war clubs. But if you're interested in any of these war clubs, like I said, hit me up via Gmail, or you can go to my link tree, go to eBay, go to my store on eBay, just open a listing, and there's always a link in any of the listings that where you can send a message to the seller. And send me a message telling me what you want. I will warn you, if you contact me through eBay, then we have to do your transaction on eBay, because eBay is very strict about that. So if you contact me through eBay, we're going to have to do it through eBay. If you contact me through my Gmail, we can do it off of eBay. It's totally up to you. And if you do it through eBay, it will be more expensive, because eBay's fees are insane. Anyway, anybody got anything else they want to see this morning before I sign off? I think I'm gonna pop out of here. I'm gonna go home, eat some breakfast, do some laundry, and watch a bad movie. I think that's my plan. I can't remember what the movie was. I already chose the movie for today, and I can't remember what it is. I chose it last night, and then I slept. You can't club today? No worries, Biggie. I don't think these clubs are going anywhere unless someone else buys them. But yeah, these are all for sale. Just not anywhere online right now. But if you're interested in a club or a custom order, like I said, contact me through eBay or contact me through my email, and we'll get you taken care of. But I think that's it for me this morning, guys. Unless anybody has questions or something else they want to see, I'll go put this stuff up. If you've got any other questions, stick them in that chat. Marion can? Marion's not real, Binky. I know she's not real. You're messing with my head, Binky. I know it. There is no Marianne. Marianne, she's a figment of your imagination. She's a myth. She's a myth. Also, since we've got some new people, I will show this off because this is another thing that I make in my shop. I make custom Vampire Apocalypse baseball bats. I'm currently making another one for a customer. She wants a Kuromi themed barbed wire bat. This is a bat similar to a custom that I did last year for a guy. He wanted the axe bat from a video game called Days Gone. So I made him one. His didn't have the paint job. It just had the saw blades in the sides. This was the proof of concept. If somebody asks me to do something I haven't done before, a lot of times I'll do a proof of concept first just to make sure that I can actually do it and it will work. But this one, I call it the no-brainer. It's a lot of fun. It is a repurposed, used table saw blade that's been cut in half and turned so that the teeth point down on both sides, so no matter which way you're swinging it, the teeth go in the direction of your swing. These are embedded very deeply with industrial epoxy and plumber's putty. No, it is actually this is an ash bat. It's ash wood that's been painted. The blades are metal, however. No, the blades are not welded. The blades are embedded in the wood and then secured with epoxy and plumber's putty, which is basically an epoxy putty. Yeah, no, I have impact tested that. These blades are not going anywhere. Now, I impact tested it on like a watermelon. But yeah, no, these blades are good. They're not going anywhere. Oh, thanks, Kenneth. It is scary. I freaking love it, right? It's amazing. I love this thing. This is my no-brainer. This is also available for sale on the shop right now. On my eBay shop, it's up there. But I make a lot of custom bats like this. I've made bats with machete blades. I've made bats with barbed wire. I've made bats with spikes, studs, you name it. I make all kinds. You can also find the custom baseball bat listing is also on my eBay shop if you're interested in a custom baseball bat. And I'm working on one right now. It's going to be lavender and plum. It's going to have Kuromi sticker. It's going to have black and gold barbed wire. The barbed wire will be black, and I'll have to individually paint each barb gold. That's going to be fun. And then it'll get wrapped in barbed wire and shipped off to the customer. But yeah, love making these. They're for entertainment purposes only. Please do not commit crimes with my bats. We don't want that. I don't want to end up on the news like that. So yeah. But a lot of, I've made these for some of fairly well-known YouTubers and Instagram people. I made a Balenciaga spiked red and black baseball bat for a refashioned hippie. She does kind of like fashion and design commentary on Instagram and YouTube and TikTok. I also made a the lights out meatball nail bat for Nugs the Final Girl. She does horror movie reviews and stuff like that on YouTube, Instagram, and TikTok. Gotta make the berry. Kirby, man, you're frying my brain, bro. I have no idea what we're talking about. I don't know who she is. I don't know what's going on. Why are you trying to destroy my brain? Anyway, so yeah, but I do make all kinds of baseball bats. They are functional. They're not just for good looks, but for legal reasons, I have to tell you to use them only for entertainment purposes. Anyway, you guys, I think that's going to be it for me today. I got to get out of here. Go do laundry, watch a bad movie, eat some breakfast. And I got to put all this stuff up on the shop. Anyway, I'm out of here. Thank you guys for hanging out with me on Sunday Finishing Work. I go live every weekend. Saturday at 7:30 a.m. I do Saturday staining, and Sunday at 7:30 a.m. the Eastern Time, United States, I do Sunday Finishing Work. There is a possibility that my Saturday staining will become a Friday staining live here in the near future. I'm not sure when. Might be week after next. And because most of my stuff's done by Friday, so I figure I might as well just do my staining live on Friday, like afternoon or evening, instead of early on Saturday, because I don't think many people are up at 7:30 a.m. Eastern Time on a Saturday. But anyway, thank you for the subs. Thank you for the likes. I really appreciate you guys hanging out with me this morning. Warrior Wood and Props is on eBay. Link is in my bio link tree. If you have any questions, hit me up. I'm out of here, you guys. Just a joke. Cheers. Hey, thanks, Becky. I appreciate it, man. You put a smile on my face. You gave me a laugh this morning. I appreciate it, bro. I was just messing with you. But thank you so much, you guys, for hanging out with me. Have a great Sunday. I'll talk to you all next week. Bye.